So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisance. All glory to Prabhupada. Namah Vishnu Padaya. Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale. Srimati
Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani.
Namaste.
Namaste, sirs.
Gaurani Pracharane. Nirvishesha
Nirvisheshwani Vari Pashatidashtani.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda Shri
Nityananda Shri Gadava Shivasi
Gaur
Gaur Bhakti.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
So thank you all very much. My obeisances to all of you. It's really wonderful that you could come today. Just a few weeks ago on that March weekend, we all came together for our very first ISKCON Northeast Zone, the Zone 2 Leadership Conference, the Unity Conference, if you will. And something special did happen there. It wasn't just another meeting, it was building deeper relationships, stronger trust, and a shared realization that we are much stronger when we move together. We discovered something. We discovered something important. That we're not just individual temple presidents and leaders and managers and servants working in isolated corners. We are one zone, one family, one mission. And when the zone succeeds, our centers succeed. When our centers succeed, devotees flourish. And when devotees flourish, people meet Krishna. And they meet Prabhupada. And when we cooperate in that spirit, Prabhupada is deeply pleased. So tonight is about momentum. We set up a pace of momentum, not just inspiration, but implementation. Not just good ideas, but clear timelines. Not just individual effort, but collective accountability. So we are here now gathered for the sequel, to refine the goals that we committed to organize next steps, assign milestones, support one another, create a culture where we can lovingly hold each other accountable, not as a pressure, but as service. Of course, tomorrow is also Nrsimha Chaturdashi, powerful, auspicious day. What better time for us to pray to Lord Nrsimhadev for protection, not only from external obstacles, but from our internal enemies that weaken our resolve, discouragement, distraction, hesitation, forgetfulness. May the Lord protect us from these that slow us down. Let us pray for the protection of this enthusiasm, for the clarity of vision. Let us pray for strength to take the right steps. And let's pray for this cooperative spirit that allows great things to happen. As Prabhupada didn't build ISKCON alone. He built it through empowered, inspired, cooperative devotees. And that's our opportunity now. So tonight, it's not just simply follow up. We want to build. Let us commit. Let's move forward together. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Anuttam Prabhu. I'd like to request Anuttam Prabhu, may put you on the spot if you can just remind us of what we are here for. The zone.
I like the picture at the top. We're here to share the matchless gift that Srila Prabhupada brought to all of us. And as we mentioned, and we had our meeting, Prabhupada didn't only go around the world. He came first to America. He didn't only come to America, he came to the Northeast. And of course, Ansarupa and others know, we all know, of all the places in the Northeast, well, he went to Butler. First he landed in Boston, Northeast. Then he went to Butler, Northeast. Then he went to New York City, Northeast. So I think historically we have a particularly important responsibility to try to share Krishna consciousness with the people in our areas. And we know that it probably mentioned so many times the need for cooperation. And we have individually, we have a lot of talents, and individually, if we're honest, we all know we have different shortcomings. So ideally, we would strengthen each other in our where we can, and strengthen each other where there may be shortcomings. And if you look at the map here that they put up, there's a lot of representation, a lot of activity going on in Krishna consciousness. And I'll just mention one last thing. I mean, in the last 2 months, we've lost 6, 8 well-known Prabhupada disciples. So we're not going to have Prabhupada disciples around a whole lot longer. And sociologists tell us that when the first generation of followers of a religious leader pass away, there's a real tendency for disagreements, dispersal, separation, etc. So I think it's an important time for us to really help not only the leaders, but all of our devotees. And I would request everyone, this is the 60th anniversary of ISKCON. I think we'll be talking more about it in a few minutes, but be reminding all of your people in your communities, this is not just, the main Bhakti Yoga Club or ISKCON in Connecticut Temple or even Brooklyn Temple. This is part of Prabhupada's international organization. We want to make everybody feel comfortable and understand they're part of a major global movement. And I think that helps people overcome a lot of the petty problems that sometimes arise in our communities. We all know that presidents are dealing with a lot of petty problems that consume 80% of your time. And even though you may think they're petty, oftentimes the the congregational members think it's the end of the world if you don't get these things figured out, and you should have done it yesterday. So that's just part of the hassle that you all take on. So oftentimes if we help people understand, no, it goes beyond these four walls, and you don't like her, you don't like him. We have a mission to execute, and we keep that in mind, we keep enthused on that, then that gives us a lot of staying power, and it helps us strengthen each other and helps us assure that success continues to make progress. So I'll just make those comments, Madana-gopāla, just to get us going.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Yes, and so this is just to remind us that yes, these dots, and we need to see many, many more dots dotting this entire surface. This is, I think, 1/10 of our potential for the next 10 years. We should really multiply these centers by 10, and each center thriving with a lot more devotees than you and me have right now. So this is just the beginning.
Madana-gopāla, can we just ask everybody too? I know it's dinner time some places, and you may be chewing your subjis and all that, but it's a lot nicer if we can see people face to face. There's a lot of devotees here that, maybe you can't, but if you can, if there's any possibility to turn on your cameras, that's great.
Yeah, it makes it more personal. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya.
So we have representation very strong from New York today. New York, Harrisburg, Philadelphia is also very strong. We have Maine representation, very strong. Baltimore, New Jersey. Yeah, the two of us from New Jersey. Thank you, Simeshwar Prabhu, for boosting the New Jersey numbers here. Hare Krishna. Mahaprem, it's good to see you. Okay, and it's good to see everyone. So just go over the agenda. We want to review and refine our shared goals that we came up with. Okay. We want to commit to next steps and schedule. And then we did talk about the diverse outreach initiative. So we'll review a lot of the things that we did come up with the last time. These are the things that came from our discussions that Anuttam Prabhu, you led. We'll talk about the subcommittee, and we'll kick that off, and what that's going to look like next month sometime. We're going to talk about these points of contact. This is all around diversity growth. And then we'll talk about 68 celebration ideas and next steps, what we're going to do. All right. So the idea is clear action, clear owners, clear timelines, and consistent follow through. All right. And those who couldn't make it today, it's not a problem. We'll share some of these notes, and we'll get them hopefully distributed, and they can read and watch this video as well if they have time. So what I was hoping, we did come up with two goals that are very enthusiastically developed by all of you, all the devotees who participated. The Sankirtan Bus Party for the 60th year, and the Applied Bhakti, the Sadhaka program. What does that look like? So for today's discussion is, we want to get more specific and more realistic. What exactly are we trying to do? What is the rough timeline? What is this Sankirtan? Is it going to be a bus party? Is bus something viable? Do we want to stick with Sankirtan? Make that the goal? Sankirtan was the main thing. Is the bus have to be there? Yes, if it has to be, how are we going to do it? And then we just wanted some inputs from all of you. and maybe you can chat what group or what project, which of these initiatives really appeals to you, and what that looks like for you. So this is really like an open session. I don't know if Venu Mataji, you have any other suggestions on how we want to go about? Yeah, just if anybody can just if you want to share your thoughts on what we discussed on these, and just kind of open the floor there. Do you remember some of these things? It was very interesting, how this Bhakti Sadhaka program came about. It was like mostly the ladies came up with this, and then the men were all into the buses. Like, yeah, it's kind of interesting how that whole thing developed. Yes, Dronacharya Prabhu, please go ahead.
Yeah. I remember we talked about the bus and the logistics of kind of reinventing that in 2022 versus in the 1970s. The liabilities, the waivers, the insurance, ownership of the bus, a lot of complications that we may get caught up in administratively. And the goal is, I guess, to travel and perform Sankirtan. So the bus may be an interference unless you have a big donor that's willing to donate a bus, and then somebody that's willing to take ownership of the bus.
I mean, maybe it could look something like, hey, we come up with some funds, not big funds, but some funds where different temples in Northeast charter buses, and you just kind of swarm with their buses, take a bunch of people, and we just congregate into a particular city and flood it with Maha Harinam. Have like 5 Harinam parties, just totally reverberate the city or something, and have some programs for a day, for a weekend, and then you go back in your chartered bus. I mean, that's it could take that kind of incarnation, if you will, as a thought. I mean, it's just a thought, or it doesn't have to be a bus. Everybody just comes, and we just kind of. The main thing is Sankirtan, right? And to engage all of us.
We'd be happy to host Sankirtan parties in New York, as we've been doing for many years. If devotees want to travel from other places, we can provide facility. They can go out with our Harinam. They can go out with our book distributors. We have, amazing locations that we've been cultivating for many years. All the universities, Washington Square Park, Tompkins Square, Columbia, NYU. And, we're not big book distributors. We do 100+ a day, but our main thing is exposure. They see us out there, in our traditional dress, forward facing the public, so that, people know that the Hare Krishnas are still here. But like I said, we have enough facility that, parties can come and go. 2 party per men or women, both. They can come for short-term stays. Not the Barnaditya look after our short-term and long-term stays. And like I said, for something like Sankirtan, we're always open to host. So, parties can come together from every place at one time and have a Sankirtan Sangha. And just like there's a Holy Name Festival in various places, we can also do a Sankirtan Sangha in New York. But
that sounds wonderful. I mean, New York is the place to do it this year. It's ISKCON 60. 60 years ago, it was happening in New York. And New York has all the public transportation available, so in that sense, devotees can come from anywhere into New York. All roads in Northeast lead to New York in one sense. So it'll be a great city for us as a pilot program to have, set aside a few weekends, since you're very kindly offering to kind of at least let devotees land there, and then, we can figure out some of those logistics and the details.
We're happy to help. Historically, the Hartford Temple began as a satellite Sankirtan training center when we had the 55th Street Temple. Kwamarupa had a plan, Urjasvat and Kwamarupa. They wanted to get the new men out of the temple environment because it was quite big and lots of distraction. So we got a house, the original Silver Lane house in Connecticut was our Sankirtan satellite. We just renovated it, trained up dozens of Sankirtan devotees from that location, many of whom are still active in various ways. But that started a temple. It started as a Sankirtan satellite and became a temple. So, but we're happy to contribute whatever in case there's some interest. Just let us know.
Yeah, so maybe what we could do is we can work with you, Hansarupa Prabhu, and take you up on your kind offer, um, and then figure out how we can excite different cities or different congregations to really just charter their own bus and just come to New York and make it a thing. Of course, some of them do that for New York Rath Yatra, but that's they do that every year anyway. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Or if they haven't done it, they should do it this year. Like,
we host the youth festival. We host the Kishore Yatra and the summer tours. They come to New York every year and visit us either during Rath Yatra or some other time. So we're always ready to extend that facility as long as you bring your own sleeping bag. Not a problem.
Yeah, no, that's great. Um,
Getting that, so Zone 2 is pretty expansive, right? We go all the way from Maine down to Virginia, all the way out to Ohio, or
Beyond Ohio,
way out,
we go to
yeah,
Indianapolis, Indiana,
Indianapolis, and all the way up to Detroit.
Michigan. Yeah.
Um, so maybe it may be more achievable to have regional
Yes.
sub-regions, where you kind of have like in Northeast, New York is centralized, then maybe there's one that's out more toward the
Toward Ohio.
Ohio,
Yeah.
Ohio area where, Detroit and Illinois can kind of pull into, and they can decide where that would be. And then I know he's not here tonight, but Sarvani Nimai from Delaware, they're planning something really big, and I think he was really interested in this. They're going to do some type of boardwalk beach mega kirtan
Mm.
during the summertime. And Delaware is like a central location for Baltimore, Potomac, Philadelphia. We can all reach there within like an hour and a half or so.
Yeah.
Um, I think it maybe sub-regionally, New York. I don't know how far is it from like Maine into New York? Is that within a
Oh,
couple?
it's eight
Pretty far.
hours at least.
Oh,
It's
It's
okay.
pretty
So,
far.
quite far.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, we're like 3 hours from
yeah,
Boston as our
right,
closest temple. So
yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
what this could look like, you're right. I think one could be a boardwalk event. Although we do have our annual Atlantic City Rath Yatra, which is our like boardwalk event anyway, which we do every year, right? Sort of like that. But it'll be good to do in a place where we haven't done it before, like in Delaware, like you're saying, right? Suvarna is doing in Delaware. Is that where he's going to do it?
And like Rehoboth Beach, which is
Sure.
it's a huge
Sure.
tourist destination during the summertime.
So maybe we could do that because you can get all of Philadelphia, a lot of New Jersey devotees, got Baltimore and DC, and everyone can kind of very easily come there. So if we have a few spots in New York, should be one. Maybe you do Rehoboth Beach, and then maybe something in Columbus. Like Columbus Temple will be, I'm sure, very happy to promote something, especially because they're building this massive new temple, and they could use some of that, put them on the map a little bit more with the rest of the devotees. So in Columbus, it could be, all the Pittsburgh and Ohio and Michigan devotees can kind of descend upon Columbus and have an organized, New Vrindavan devotees can come to Columbus fairly easily as well. So if we had like 3 planned events where we encourage devotees to charter their buses and just bus in a whole bunch of people just for a day event, or just a special day event where we really flood the streets with Harinam, then that would be great. We celebrate 60th, and it's a pilot to see if we can keep doing this year after year.
Would the idea be to try to do it all on the same date?
Possibly. Although I'm not sure. Yeah, it'll make, that's a good point because it'll create an explosion. It's the same day, everything's happening at the same time. So that's something we can consider. Another thing we could do is we could stagger them, so that some devotees who want to attend all of them can attend all of them. Anuthan Prabhu, please go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to suggest that maybe everybody's so busy, and sometimes we set stuff that's not so attainable. So maybe either staggered or like one day or whatever, like, one thing is, the
One
60th
thing.
event. And if it really works well in the summer, then maybe we try to do one in the fall, or it becomes an annual thing. Or maybe later we decide, well, this is fun, this is great, we should do it every month. But if we start out, say, this is the special one, again, whether it's in three places or four places or one place, but like right, Venu likes the term low hanging fruit, achievable
Yeah.
goals, all those kind of things. That's my only thought. I think it's a great idea, but pin it on one time. Oh yeah, everybody, please participate in this, because otherwise it's like, oh God, I'm so busy.
Yeah. Well, summers tend to be very saturated. Everybody's always doing so many things, and so it's hard to get them to commit to one weekend, or just not even a weekend, just a day in an event which is different from a Rath Yatra, because the Rath Yatra is also happening, right? So there's that. And there's certain other things that we may not have taken advantage of. For example, DC has the Cherry Blossom Festival, right? I think it's in April, maybe. And I don't know if,
April and May.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know if maybe
April.
next year.
April. It's April.
Yes. So maybe next year we could do something like that, where because like so many people from all over the Northeast come to see the cherry blossoms anyway. So you already have extra people, and then we could have a planned event, maybe not a Rath Yatra, but just a Mahaharinam. Rath Yatras tend to be more difficult because you got to have permits and block the streets. But even Mahaharinam, just show up. It's low overhead in terms of planning for the thing, and at the same time, you just have to find some accommodations and things. Yes, Prabhu.
Just the Cherry Festival might be a really good idea because it's a huge festival, a ton of people
Exactly.
in
It's
town.
already there. Yeah.
And it's before Rath Yatra season starts. I think April is before anybody else has got a bunch of stuff going on.
Exactly.
The weather, I mean, April in DC, it can be 80 degrees or it could be 40 degrees. You never know.
Yeah.
But either way, it's a time when there's a lot of people here, and it would be kind of an additional reasonable thing.
And devotees. I mean, 300 devotees chanting under the cherry blossoms along those waterfronts. I mean, just the visual is so spectacular.
Somebody put in the chat, I can't see who, but it's great. To bring everybody's attention, this is the 250th anniversary of the country and our 60th anniversary.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe we could find out Ananda's not here. Years ago, we always, years and years and years, decades, we had a Rath Yatra parade in the 4th of July. I haven't done that in 10 years, but they do a big Harinam down there. Maybe that would be like a great time to have a big,
Oh,
a
definitely.
whole, have the zone send a bunch of people. DC doesn't have a lot of guest rooms at all, but there may be some inexpensive things that can be figured out.
Well, the bicentennial, not bicentennial, this is the 250th. Bicentennial was 1976. If you remember that, that was a big one, right? We distributed a lot of Back to Garden
Yeah,
magazine.
Prabhu was here for that one.
Yeah.
The quincentennial.
What's that?
The quincentennial.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, my new favorite word. Quincentennial. Yep.
The 250th?
Yep.
I mean, both DC and Philadelphia have significance, right? Because we declared independence in Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken, right? Historically. Or at
Yeah.
least the Declaration of Independence was signed in Philadelphia.
That's the sign. Yeah, it was signed in Philadelphia.
Signed in
That's where
Philadelphia on the 4th of July.
yeah, that's where the whole center is. I mean, Ben Franklin's house,
Well, you have the
George
bell,
Washington's
right?
house, yeah, Liberty Bell,
Independence Mall.
Independence Mall, where
Yeah.
it's all, yeah,
So that could be a great backdrop for the 250th also, historically speaking.
yeah.
And July
Is there
4th.
is there a date they're celebrating in relationship to that, Drona? Would we need a permit or we just show
Fourth
up?
of July. Now they shut that place down. I mean, that's locked down. I mean, you can walk to. I mean, I walked down there the other day. It's near where I work, and it's guarded all the time.
No, we would go
But
inside the place, but we would go on the streets,
well,
right?
streets, yeah, and it's going to be really crowded. I mean, they're having senators, existing senators walking and kind of like retracing the route they took, when they went in to sign the Constitution to kind of reenact it. Mm. So it's going to be on heavy lockdown, I'm pretty sure.
Well,
I
maybe as a
mean,
zone you can find some other day though, Drona. We don't have to compete with.
yeah, I mean, I'd rather try to do something like that locally. So if it turned out to be a flop and like we weren't able to get close, we wouldn't let people down. But if people are traveling to come and then you're disappointed because you can't even get close. I would hate to see that happen.
It's a
I mean,
Saturday this
yeah,
year too.
yeah,
July 4th is actually a Saturday.
yeah.
So
Philadelphia is going to be it's going to be crazy because you got the World Cup in Philadelphia as well at the same time. I mean, there's like I saw some
soccer.
pictures of road closure. Yeah, soccer. So I saw like pictures of like road closures throughout Center City
Mm,
and just throughout that whole time. I remember when the Pope came, it was like that. It was just they just take a lot of precaution. We're going to have politicians and stuff like that in that general area. It's going to be really kind of locked down.
I know in the DC Fourth of July parade was also pretty high security, if I recall correctly.
Some years more than others. And
Yeah.
for sometimes it was completely locked down. After the most recent assassination attempt, who knows what they're going to do. But the last 3 years, it's been pretty open.
So, Simhesha, probably you want to share any thoughts?
It was all wonderful. Thank you so much for this discussion. Really, it can help to streamline every temple. I mean, I was also thinking that at the same time, we should have the suggestion of regional is a good idea. Plus, also, we should encourage and motivate every temple should have an exclusive, ISKCON 60 program along with it. So that's also spread out to the local community. It's ISKCON 60th. At the same time, also we are also having the Atlantic City Rath Yatra, and also we discussed a little bit about how we can, put together a Kirtan festival on our temple. So it can help that way. I mean, yeah, it should suggest that every temple should have exclusive program for this festival.
Okay. So I think we've kind of collected some ideas, some more, but what we still need to do is shape it up into something more doable. So I don't know if that's going to happen right now, but okay. So we'll note these and share these. See, it's already like the weather's already getting warmer. Unless we nail down something, we'll just keep talking about it. That's my concern.
Madana-gopāla, there are other Rath Yatras or big events on July 4th. I mean, I'm just thinking, just picking up on what everybody's saying, maybe, okay, we missed the Cherry Festival, but maybe, July 4th, we try to get, some zonal huge crowd, not just the DC people. And maybe then, July, we've got the Rath Yatra. Wait,
June.
Joe.
Okay, so yeah, so maybe we do, try to get a ton of people more than we normally get. We should. It's the 50th anniversary of the parade in New York City. It's huge. Let's try to get a bigger, huge turnout from the zone, and then push July 4th for, we have like events, and we're not going to get everybody, but at least we can try to, push the idea that there's zonal events and please come. And then maybe Philadelphia, I don't know, October, is it too late, Jonah, to try to do something post?
We're already doing September, right? Rath Yatra. So then I don't know if people go to Philadelphia twice,
I
When
don't
it
know,
comes to
so
the Rath
many
Yatra,
people, do so many people go to Philly Rath Yatra from all around? If so, maybe we
A
just
lot of
put
New
one
Jersey
Rath Yatra.
devotees go, yeah.
yeah, we'd always need more. It'd be great to see more participation. I mean that it's a nice time of the year. It's not hot. It's
Yeah.
just in that in between period of time. It's a great backdrop, a good
It's a
place.
very beautiful space, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we just push these as like, of course, we've got the 60th anniversary, which is really, 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 really important. But maybe we try to push zonally for this year at least, what we've been talking about, what I'm hearing, the New York Rath Yatra, the Philly Rath Yatra, maybe one other that we say, hey, let's really turn out in maybe July 4th in DC for the big.
What we could do exactly is maybe we can have banners that every temple has their banner, ISKCON 60, and then you can say ISKCON of New Jersey, for example. Then ISKCON 60, ISKCON Philadelphia. And then they bring their banner with them to the New York Rath Yatra, and this is our group. And then can you imagine like 7 or 10 different temples holding their banners, and they'll be different, and each of them will have the ISKCON 60 logo on it. So we're celebrating ISKCON 60, but we're from Philadelphia, we're from New Jersey, we're from North Jersey, we're from Delaware. I think that might be pretty nifty if we can do even if we can do it in New York and Philly, like 2 major Rath Yatras. That'll be pretty sweet. It'll be a nice, let's say, novelty item that we would do something different, because we don't always do that. This for 60th we'll hold the banner. It might encourage devotees to come and bring their buses, or charter a bus.
the Rath Yatra season in the Northeast. New York kicks it off, and Philadelphia is the last one.
Yeah.
So September 26th is Philadelphia Rath Yatra.
So maybe what we could do is, I remember in Baltimore, Sham Prabhu mentioned from Baltimore that he can get these canvas banners printed very quickly and very easily. And if we can have a standard design on all of them, can you imagine this? Not too big, a few feet wide. People can roll it up and just bring it with them when they come in the groups of 15, 20, 30, 40 devotees from each temple. And if we can get 7, 10 temples, centers to bring their parts of the congregation as an extra ISKCON 60 boost, that just come out of a comfort zone and really try to make it a point to come to 2 or 3 major Rath Yatras. Maybe that would be a very achievable goal. So maybe what I'll do is I'll take it an action item for myself to talk to Sham Prabhu, and maybe we can get something like that designed and get some commitments from some of these temple leaders, and we can see if that becomes a doable goal for this year. To really boost the Rath Yatras instead of an additional event. Does this sound reasonable? Yeah. Okay. Mahaprem.
One thing,
Yeah, sure. Yes, sure.
sorry that we used to have this Holy Name Week festival every year, and I think maybe, it's a suggestion that we can also, part of as ISKCON 60th anniversary, maybe we can also initiate something like every temple, or temple wise or group wise, or maybe on the Zoom. It can, whatever the way, can have something very exclusive dedicated to Srila Prabhupada, that okay, as a week program, like something like that. An initiative of maybe not even weeks, maybe something every temple can participate, or that can have a conference, or one day that every temple, every members of the congregation have a program together, so that from the zone everybody can participate in that program as well, rather than traveling. Maybe we can have some conference over the Zoom, something that we can arrange, so that every congregation members can also participate in that. Yeah, just some thoughts. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. We should make a note and see which ones are viable and doable. I think the real challenge is the time. Devotees tend to run out of time very quickly in bandwidth, especially in the summer. It just moves so quickly because this festival, that Rath Yatra, and then most devotees have take a little bit of time in summer to do their own little things, with their families. So that's also the thing. Anuttam Prabhu wrote over here, please remind everyone that we are hoping that each temple in the zone, especially those close to New York, plan to come to the 60th anniversary. This is July 31st. That's very important. So please sponsor a table, and encourage people, devotees, to sponsor, and maybe invite prominent people. Like, say you have contacts with the mayor, or even senators or state senator, even whatever, something like that. Encourage them. Maybe get like Baltimore, DC, Michigan, etc. They can all sponsor a table. Hema Malini is confirmed.
Those are the ones that have committed already. Those are the ones
they have committed. They have already committed to
and
tables.
New Vrindavan, I forgot to write New Vrindavan is already
New Vrindavan has also purchased a table. Radhana Swami is confirmed. Mayor of New York is in the process. Hopefully he'll also come. And then we need you. So this is a once in a decade kind of thing. It's not something we do every year. It's a very unique event, and it will require a little bit of push, because first to come to New York, and then getting this table sponsored, and sponsor some tickets. But it's not that expensive, per person, and you get to celebrate and commemorate really ISKCON 60. It's a great year to do it. So please try to do that. I think maybe our New York promoters we should get a whole bunch of cards printed, so we can hand them out at Sadhu Sangha, because Sadhu Sangha, everybody comes, everybody in North America comes, and it's a great opportunity. We should have cards. Everybody, when they're sitting for dinner and prasadam, we should give them cards and say, please commit to this. In fact, we can, we don't annoy them, but definitely everyone should be aware this is a big thing. It's a very unique experience.
Aditya is our main organizer. Aditya, are you going to Sadhu Sangha?
She is now.
I wasn't planning to go to Sadhu Sangha. Actually, that weekend we have Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj visiting us. But I know that some of our team are planning to go.
Maybe that's a great suggestion. Then we should get some cards printed and pass out. You know, you can get 1,000 cards printed really cheap these days.
Yeah. Glossy cards, nice ones,
Two
postcard
side
size.
colors, yeah.
Color glossy postcard size. They're not that expensive actually, and it'll be great to hand out. 4,000 devotees are going to be there, and these are serious devotees. Practically every leader from every center is going to be there. So I would say the vast majority of initiated devotees in North America will have some representation there. So definitely, it's a great opportunity for promoting this once in a lifetime thing. Okay. And okay, I think we can move on.
Can we, on the Sadhu Sangha, can we get some note put on their whatever website they're using, Anuttama, some link or something?
No, we should. I'm not involved with Sadhu Sangha at all. Anybody here as part of their management organizing team? That's a great idea.
What they have is tables. They have booths and tables.
No, but on their website, whatever they're advertising, is there someplace that they can get information about the 60th or any of our other programs that are being in the zone? Something that advertises zone 2, and then you go down, you see that this is happening here, Rath Yatra's here, the Sadhu Sangha, of course, is there, and then 60th anniversary is in New York City, just so that we're kind of like for momentum, as you mentioned. The whole idea is momentum, is to keep it rolling. So keep it in the forefront of everybody's mind that this is a banner year. Back to banners, by the way. No, but something. So you have, some constant little, whatever they used to call that when you were touching somebody online. I can't remember what it's for the Gen Z type of people. You poke somebody, so you want to keep poking them every time they go to a website. There's something about the 60th or about, other activities in the zone 2.
Yeah, I don't know if they do advertising on their website. I've seen their website. It's interesting. I don't know how many people actually go to the website considering it's such a big event, because most people do all their interaction on their app. They have an app. You have to have an app.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they send out. So the app, the link that connects them to registration and everything doesn't have a landing page where they could, for further information about any other activities happening in North America, click here.
Yeah, I can check with them. I don't know if they have. Anyway, we'll see. But it'll be good to do that. It's worth exploring. They are very tight on like announcements, and they won't allow stage announcements, for example, because everybody wants their stuff announced. But they do have tables.
How much did they charge for tables? Do you know, Madana-gopāla?
You know who would know is Suniti, because we had our RGB table last year. I don't know if we're going to have it this year. Where we did promote the RGB, we had bags and things like that.
Maybe they should donate a table to the 60th.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds good. Who's the person that gets talked to? I can't do it. I'm leaving the country in 2 days, but any volunteers here amongst all you busy people?
Must be the 7th inning stretch here. Everybody's getting ready to.
Yeah, I mean, people are already packing their bags for Sadhu Sangha. It's happening in a few weeks. But it might be worth asking.
So
maybe find out, are there any tables available and who among this group is going, and maybe we can all chip in some bucks to get something made. The global team still, it's late, but always so many reasons. But we just sent out tomorrow. Actually, we're sending out. We have some plans for some banners, at least to make available. This is something we all should know. Make design banners that you can all individually print, whatever, to hang up above your deities, above Prabhupada, above the entranceway, wherever is appropriate. Those, hopefully we'll have those within a week, I hope. And, maybe some of those can go there and table, but again, we need somebody who wants to take responsibility for it, right, Madana-gopāla?
Yeah.
But we can give cards, right? Madana-gopāla, we can I just
Yeah,
have
cards.
cards.
Cards can be handed out. You know,
Cards
so
are easy and cheap.
cards are easy. You don't need a table for that. I think that's the easy way to do it.
Yeah,
And you can even go to existing tables and say, "Can I give you a stack of cards here?" And go to like 5 different tables and just leave a few stacks of cards. And the people who are browsing can just pick up a card.
Or just stand by the door for an hour and hand out hundreds of them.
Or when everybody sits at one time for prasadam, you just walk in while they're eating. You just
Yeah. But who's going? Anybody here going? Raise your hands. Be honest here.
Yeah, I'm going, and I volunteered to help distribute cards. I did that last year for 26 Second Avenue at one of the, just when people are eating, just handing them out. So
nice.
Fantastic. Okay.
yeah,
So
somebody just needs to get me the cards. I just let Aditya know if somebody.
Yeah, I'll be there too. So yeah.
Aditya, can you get some cards printed? Is that reasonable?
Yeah, sure, we can get the cards printed. How many are we looking at?
How many people they get? Somebody said 4,000.
You get 4,000 people. Doesn't mean 4,000 cards because mostly families, right? So we get about say 1,000 families. So if we can give 1,000 cards, we're good to go. 1,000 cards weighs a lot too, so we'll have
Yeah, I
to.
would say like 500 is probably reasonable.
500 is a good number because we don't.
No, Venu, we're going to keep you busy. Don't try to get out of this. You volunteered. Come on. Once you said it.
Because half the people are going to
hard.
be on the other half of the country. You got a lot of people who are unlikely to come, and anyway.
Those people need 2 cards to come.
So
Why don't we print 1,000? Why don't we print 1,000 and then there's no
Yeah.
harm. If there's 500 left. We'll pass them out other places.
yeah,
Because usually the way those work. It's for whatever it is for 100. You can print
Pay less.
500 for the cost of 150 or something. They always have those larger quantities.
I
Did we
mean,
want to talk about the applied?
yeah, because Mahaprem also brought it up. So can we talk about that? I think
I wanted to just bring one thing up that, a lot of kids go to Sadhu Sangha, and if we have a poster with a QR code on it, they are really into that stuff. So, even the cards, if we have a QR code on it, and if there's a poster that we can hang, if we get a table, even if we don't get a table, if they allow us to just 60th,
Yeah. Where Aditya has a very nice poster ready to go.
Yeah, so if we can just put it over there, if it has a QR code on it, that'll be huge. So
Yeah, we can actually show the whole 3-day event because I think, as you were just mentioning, Sita, it's like a lot of young people that are going, and there's different elements to the festival that may appeal to different audiences.
correct. So what I'm saying is a lot of kids won't take the card, but if you have a QR code, they'll take their phone, scan it, and then, so it'd be good to have that. That's all.
okay.
Aditya, is that possible? Get a QR code and with the link to the website or other information or something?
Yes.
Great. Okay, good.
Yes, honestly, asking about the banner. So the idea is that we'll talk to Sham Ruprabhu in Baltimore, and he can get a banner designed for us, and then he can get it printed for us. We just need to let him know we're interested, and then we have to send him the money, and he can get it all done. So that's something we have to coordinate. That's something I'll reach out to him and figure out a way to coordinate it, and then maybe I'll send out like a Google form. Everybody in our group can fill out if they're interested. Just put the name of the temple, and then we'll pop it in, and then as soon as you send your payment, he'll print it out. Okay, so maybe that's something we'll try to expedite. The Applied Bhakti program, it sounded like it's going to be a multi-year thing, at least. It's not something that it's just going to happen. We'll start it this year, but we do need to first come up with the curriculum. So what this means is that we need to create a subcommittee who's going to run with that. So that's where that stands. Mahaprem, if you're interested, maybe you can participate in that subcommittee as well, and we can talk about it maybe in the next gathering. Is that okay? All right, we're changing gears a little bit. This is a very important goal. Beyond the first 2 goals, of course, was this non-negotiable goal of diversity. Low-hanging fruits, websites. We have to commit to review our websites. Make sure that they're friendly when we look at them. For someone who is not familiar with Krishna conscious lingo, someone who's not coming from an Indian background, they should be able to, it should be appealing to them. So make it accessible, diverse appeal, and not non-deity centric. This is something, because what does this message tell us? Okay, not sure why everybody's so much into these dolls. If I'm just looking at, from an objective observer who's not from Indian background, like, yeah, you guys are really into dolls. Like everywhere I go, you see these like beautiful marble dolls, but what's the deal? They're everywhere, and you have a picture of them of every day of the week in different clothes. I don't think they can all relate to that. That's one thing. So, not that you don't put them, but it's if that's all there is on that page. And then, of course, pictures of your congregation. Not that you don't put pictures of your congregation, but see if you can vary it up a bit, mix it up, so people feel that, yeah, it's not just Indian devotees who come there. And the schedule. What does this even mean? I'm not really sure.
What's an arti?
Yeah, what's Arti? And then even if you say there's going to be a midnight bathing ceremony on Janmashtami, guy's going to come in flip-flops and a towel. Where is the bathing ceremony? So, it has to be clear what you're doing, right? So we have to figure out, but okay, what about examples? What are good examples of websites? Philadelphia, excellent website. It's a great example where just, you see the congregation, you see Indian people, but you see non-Indian people as well. Dronacha, is that picture of your son? That's your son, right, Drona?
No, that's not his son.
Sorry, no, that's his daughter back there.
The small one is my son, not the
that's what I
one
said.
playing Mridanga.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a long time ago. Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm saying. That's Drona's son. Yeah, and that's your daughter. That's Nadia back there.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
I didn't put the website together, by the way. I'm not trying to put my kids up front. Not one of those devotees.
The Bhakti Center website, absolutely fantastic. They have all kinds of programs. A little bit more on the other extreme with a lot of yoga, but we can find a balance. The Detroit website also, you see the full spectrum of our diversity there. This is so appealing. So every temple has some angles that you can take that really appeal. So let's look at some of these better websites and see how we can learn from them. I know our DC one has some very nice ones. DC also has nice pamphlets that they put out there. Okay, so this is something that we came up with low-hanging exercises. So this is an action item for all of us. Please go back to your websites, review them to see where easy changes can be made. This is low-hanging fruit. At our next meeting, we're going to check back again, see, and you can share. Hey, look, I made these changes. So make notes of the changes you made. Please take some time the next few weeks to look at your website critically for the things we talked about. That's just website. Sunday feasts, small changes can add up. Have diverse greeters, have a welcome table with some where everything can be explained. Provide brief explanation of rituals as they happen. Give tours for people who may not be familiar with prasadam. Give translation of the ingredients and so on. Don't make it too spicy. And we had a lot of vegans. So these are all ideas that came up with our interactive session. Please make note of this. Yes.
Just one quick thing, English translations, it doesn't necessarily mean they stand up and tell everybody at the announcements what's in it.
No, if
So
you
like in
write them,
DC, there's a small sign, and they just wipe it,
They write them,
the magic marker type of sign. It just says this week's menu, this
Yep.
and this and this and this, and here's the ingredients.
Yep. Yeah, we do that in Tawako as well. It's just a beautifully written.
And good if they're
Right.
English ingredients, if you say like whatever, the Hindi name for stuff, it doesn't,
No, yeah,
even
no,
if
they write-
95% of your congregation speaks Hindi, you're writing the sign for the one person that only speaks
Yep.
English.
Yep, exactly. You can put the name of the original item, pakora, but then you can describe what it is, crispy fritters or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. In Brooklyn, they do separate parallel sessions for newcomers. I think, right?
Yes, they do.
So this is another nice thing we could be doing. assign devotees to care for newcomers, like actually trained devotees. That's their main job, is not to socialize with their existing friends, but to look for new people and kind of identify and welcome them, give them explanation, give them tours. Of course, I mean, I don't know of any temple where they do announcements in any other language. We always do it in English, but maybe there are one or two.
Well, sometimes I've seen what happens is a person gives the announcement has such a thick accent,
Yeah.
you
So
know,
the
that
accent, so that's
unless
a separate thing.
unless
Yeah.
you're from Brooklyn, you have no idea what they're saying.
Right.
You know,
So
not that
so the person who's giving the announcement should not have a thick Brooklyn accent. They should
yes.
have a regular.
Yeah,
No.
that's why we have Mother Shobha Mai doing it.
Yes. Well, Mother Shomai's voice is so crisp. I mean, anybody can understand. Anybody in the world can understand what she's saying. Super sharp. But yeah, lecture should be newcomer friendly. This is a big problem.
One thing
Sure.
on that, and I know it's a sensitive issue, and this is why it may be good to have the whole zone to this. There's a lot of communities where they've got so and so Prabhu or Dasi, whatever. She or he's been doing every single announcement for the last, 14 years. And they're going to do the last announcement when when they're standing in front of everybody and they give up their body in front of the deities. That's going to be the last announcement. So it helps really, one week you have a black-bodied woman give the announcement, and the next week it's a brown-bodied male, and the next week it's a white. Just we know we're not the bodies, but it sends a message to people. That you this is you if whatever embodiment you have, you're part of the community. So we should all think like that, and it doesn't mean you got to tell somebody you can never ever give the announcements again, but make sure that at least part of the announcements, there's some, just it's the same thing like the website. Step back and see what's the diversity question there. It carries a powerful message. Age too. It shouldn't always be, the old uncles. Don't have guys that look like me doing all the announcements. They want to hear have teenagers doing that. Mature people do announcements sometimes,
Yeah.
but not elderly.
And
We
lectures
have
also.
we have a variety. We have our book distributor. We have our Bhakti leader. We have our youth outreach leader. They're all giving a 1 minute announcement, along with all the other standard announcements. So we do have 4 or 5 different people, different sizes, shapes, colors. Yeah, they're all there.
Yeah.
Good, good. But I don't know if everybody's doing that, Hunter, but sometimes we don't think about it. We're all just used to, so and so Prabhu always give the announcement here. Nobody understands them, but it's our tradition here. They
Yeah.
always give the announcement. So
Yeah. Announcements, the same thing with lectures, of course. The lecture should be decent in their English, and they should be newcomer friendly. In our temple, unfortunately, unfortunately, we have many, many speakers. We have 52 Sundays, and we have maybe 48 speakers, different ones. And because they're so different, sometimes they're very too advanced, sometimes go over the head, sometimes they're not very experienced. But at least we should have guidelines to be handed to them well before they give their class. And then we should make sure we check their script before they're going to speak it. That's not happening. That needs to start happening. So maybe as a policy, or at least as a very strong suggestion, as a guideline, please, maybe we should come up with guidelines. I think some guidelines have already been published in different temples. So we can just kind of share those and then come up with our zonal guidelines for all to be distributed by all leaders. And to be observed.
Well, that's the one thing that you bring that up, which is a fact, is that we do segregate the newcomers, and we have
Sure.
separate classes for them.
Sure.
Because some of them don't want to listen to, that which is not easily relatable. So we make sure that they get a custom tailored outreach by one of our, contemporary speakers, youthful, this, that, the other. And we do the same thing with our Indian students. We separate them. So really, all that's left in the temple room are our standard, everyday,
The usual
every
suspects.
Sunday guests. Yes, our diaspora. So
Sure.
Can we
Yes.
also send these minutes at least to as a reminder to this group so that
Oh
many?
yeah, 100%.
So I think
Everything we're
that would
discussing
be
here, we're going to
yeah,
share the points of this, of the key points, because not everybody is here in this group today.
yeah,
But we want to make sure everybody will receive what we talked about.
yeah.
Another Prabhu? Oh, you're muted, Prabhu.
Just to add to what Hans Rupa said, I think that sometimes we have speakers that assume, maybe because most of the audience is from India or most of the audience has been around for 20 years, that they're not dealing with their minds and their bodies and their families and their jobs and financial pressures. And Krishna consciousness is not just about coming to the temple and hearing Leela. It should be something where people are hearing, how do you apply this philosophy to your day-to-day life? How do you understand how to treat your neighbor better because you're a devotee and things like that? So I think guidelines that emphasize that would be good for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe that's another action item for us as a zonal goal. Small goal, but to
Yeah, that'd
publish
be
some
very good.
guidelines, to have the
Very
zonal level guidelines, and then let us all commit to sharing those guidelines on a regular basis, and maybe have a policy that even if a guest speaker share those guidelines. I remember whenever I traveled to like San Diego, they would give me guidelines. On Thursday, you don't say these words. Just like playing a game of taboo. So you can't say certain words because that's the new crowd. It was very interesting. I had to redo my whole class, but it was good. So I think that sort of system we should have in our zone.
That'd be very helpful.
Yeah.
Bruce, I'm sorry, but I have
Yeah.
to
We are out of
attend
time. Yes, but we're
some
almost
things.
done. Yes, thank you, Ansarupa Prabhu. We'll
No,
share
Bruce,
these.
it's
Yes.
my pleasure. Thank you for having us on board, and it's nice and very encouraging to see a zone with these shared goals, and looking forward to much more productive discussions in the future.
Thank you, Prabhu. Okay.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So yeah,
Haribol.
we're almost done here. Just to take a few more minutes. Thank you, Prabhu. Ansarupa Prabhu. So we talked about the other pilot program, the Think Gita pilot program, which is very well developed in UK and Europe, and they've already started some work here in North America. So that's a separate meeting. Okay, the date is to be decided. It'll be around the same time. But this is the agenda for that meeting: how Think Gita is going to work, and how you all, as leaders, can be involved and reap the benefits in this diversity goal. All right, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But the idea is, how to go deeper with 3 baby steps. How to land the diverse participants that we're all yearning for, how to involve campus outreach initiatives and things like that. It's like a franchise turnkey solution. Yes, Anuttam Prabhu.
Yeah, just related to that with the campus, and I'm not familiar with this program. I'm sure it's a good one. I look forward to learning more about it. But I put this out nationally too. I mean, I don't think there's any sangha of people that go to campuses. It's like whoever's inspired in various places just goes and does their thing. And
Yeah.
like we talked about the Sunday feast lecture, what are the guidelines? Maybe we should try to find out. I know there's a Prabhu in Maryland, goes to University of Maryland every week. I'm sure he knows a lot, but I'm sure he doesn't know everything. He could learn from others. So there might be also one of our goals is to promote, more of that sangha. Like now we have a deity ministry that looks over the whole region, and we have a minister who's working to try to develop book distribution. Maybe we should have some college sangha for those devotees, just because everybody gets fired up when you get to talk to people that are doing similar service and get great ideas.
Yeah, definitely. I think college outreach in New York is actually, I heard, is doing very well. I mean, I was invited by Ansarupa Prabhu just a few weeks ago to Brooklyn, and I gave a class, and I was amazed at how well attended it was. Young college students and young professionals.
Yeah.
It was really amazing.
That
So-
was in the temple or at a
It was in
college?
the temple. It was in Brooklyn Temple, but they're all, half of the crowd was college students, and the other half was very young professionals.
Yeah, so we should find out what are they doing to be successful. We should build on the successes of other temples in the zone.
They're following Radhe Shyam's instruction.
Oh, there's these young devotees who are already trained up in India and then happen to be here in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which is great, and we also should
Sure.
figure out how do we get outside people.
Sure, exactly. So now at our conference, quite a few of you gave us some points of contact that, okay, for ISKCON DC, Anandarupa Mataji will be the diversity point. She's actually here. Thank you, Anandarupa. Yeah, she's here. And so say for Athens, it's Rasalila and like that. So if anybody else has any other names for their centers, we will, and their contacts, we will then invite them also specifically on a separate event to really talk about how we can do diverse outreach, maybe get their points of view and build a concrete a game plan with action items and dates. So that's the idea here. And that was really basically it. That's the next steps. The next steps in our growth is we want to have a follow-up meeting to this meeting. We want to have maybe every month or so, or every other month. We have to see what cadence works for everybody. We will share the points that were discussed in this meeting to everybody, encourage them to take up some of the action items on their websites and whatnot, and then try to get this banner thing going. One place designs everybody's banners and get them all excited to come. Hey, if your temple has a banner that's portable, and if 20 temples have the banner that's portable, maybe it'll excite them enough to bring a crowd to their Rath Yatra in New York. So yes, Anatan Prabhu.
Yeah, just reminding me, good idea. Let's see what, and again, apologies, it's late, but if there's a global design banner, or maybe we just have a North American banner with a standard kind of thing. So it's kind of, it'll look nice if ISKCON of Tawako has a similar banner to ISKCON of Washington, with the logo. So maybe we should look at a design.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. It'll be printed by the same person, designed by one person.
Yeah,
and then we have all the temple presidents and leaders just fill out a Google form. Yes, I'm interested. I'll give my whatever $100 or whatever $50.
I didn't catch that part of it, that they would be similar. That's
It'll be standardized, same size, same colors, same logos. Just your temple name will be different. That's it.
Right.
As a marketer, consistency and branding is definitely key. Everything should be it should be identifiably all the same organization.
Yeah, sometimes just looking at a font, you can tell, oh, that's Coca-Cola.
There's one other small thing that's a detail on that, but there's nothing worse than people walking down the street with a 6-foot banner or 10-foot banner that's like 3 feet wide, and it's it's end the street, and it needs to be something where there's a pole across the top, or something where it looks decent. If you can make sure they consider that as well.
Sure. Anasuya?
Prabhu, the diverse outreach that you had, the slide before this one, is that just for college preaching? Is that
no?
Yes,
This is point person for all diversity efforts, including improving your Sunday feast, improving your website, college outreach, regular street outreach. But their main focus, or they're the point person to come to any discussions about diversity initiatives. Any kinds.
You better know, honestly, your name's right there on the list.
Right here. No, it's not limited to college. If that's your question, it's not limited to college.
That was my question. Okay, if it's all the other, then I'll just leave my name there.
All the above. All the above. Yeah.
Thank you.
But if you have a person in addition to yourself who would be good for, say, college outreach, you can bring them along. We can have more than one point person per temple. Or right. Simheshwar Prabhu?
Yeah, now we're discussing about the banner.
Yes.
So how do we get this link there to fill it up? And are we going to
we haven't done that yet.
later?
This is an idea that came up as a part of this meeting. It was developed during this meeting. So now we have to follow through on it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my action item. I'll discuss with Shamru Prabhu in Baltimore, and I'll follow through on that. And then we'll put a Google form and send it out.
That was my question. Just so you got your name on that, because some of the different ideas, if there's people assigned to it, it'll happen. So that's great.
No, that's the thing. Yeah, it's mine, and I want to get it out by next week. So I have a date, I have a person, which is me,
Perfect.
and then Shamru Prabhu is the other point person, and okay. All right, and then we'll take it from there. So yes, we're a little bit over time, but not too much over. So thank you all very much for joining. It's pretty good that you all came. I know it's hard to come in the middle of the week like this, but we have to keep rolling on it. And we hope that more devotees can also come, like all of you came next time. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Prabhupada.
Pranam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo.
Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hari Bol.